Hi, folks. I'm Rob D, coming to you from Liverpool, England. Um, I've been covering fossils for a long time. And through the years, my opinions of many things have changed from looking at maps, looking in person, and thinking about things with my imaginarium, as I like to call it. The imaginarium that sees things that others might not. Anybody who's done Mudfossil work has to be familiar with Roger Spurr in his Mudfossil University channels. And one of the ones that comes to me a lot is his dragon, which stretches from here through here. And I can clearly see his imaginariums and my imaginarium are in agreement of seeing that. And that's kind of where my opinion stops. Because when the stuff talks about hemoglobin, blood cells and stuff, showing me discs and wheels, which I also know from ancient trajectory weapons, even of the Chinese use disc objects, often with blades on them, and they would through army lines. And so some of these are things are wheels that he shows, he says are blood cells. And one picture he showed very specifically last night was bothering me. He says, "This is my microscope. It's very high quality." And he shows an image that I recognize immediately as taken with an electron microscope, right? So I Google immediately and I found the image. I've got it on my phone, actually, what I filmed. So that made me start looking. Well, go look. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I could play it for you. I'll do it without the sound on so you don't hear my very own opinion, but I'll show you what I'm talking about because this bothered me. Actually, it made me look further into it because I don't assume that these big things could be fueled with a pumping heart. That would be, wow, what a pump system that would take. So I think more along crystals. I think of crystalline forms, metals, heated things. So it's I'm pulling up now my phone, and I'm going to go in on a little more on this dragon, let you see the head, because it is cool looking. But as you go in, you're going to see I've got a lot of stuff marked, and I see a lot of ant activity, as I call it, with the tunnels that lead toward the food source that they ate. Let's see if I can pull this up here for you.
With this picture, he says he looked at it through his own microscope. You ready for this? Here's white blood cells taking on a Wikipedia electron microscope.
I'm going to get this to come up from the beginning.
He's a lion sack of shit. Right, there's that exact picture that he used in his video. That's a slam bust.
I'll get it to come from the beginning now. Yeah, it is a slam bust. Oh, well, you guys are going to hear that. But it is. It's a slam bust. Oh, come on. Pull up.
Right. You ready for this? Now I'm at this video here, and he's showing this picture. He says he looked at it through his own microscope. You ready for this? Here's white blood cells taking on a Wikipedia electron microscope. Right. He's a lion sack of shit. Right. There's that exact picture that he used in his video. That's a slam bust.
Right. It is a slam bust. So it made me look further into this. Yeah, pointed at his microscope and said that. So, yeah, I call it like it is. You guys going to troll me or whatever. So as I look into these areas, I'm going to just get on with it. You know, from that body area, he said was, I'm going to make this a little smaller. Hope you don't mind. I see enough of me every day. I'm in the corner. I'll move it down if I need to show something big. How about that? So down in this area, he was saying was like its wing structure, and he was seeing scales and this and that. So I do the zoom bit, right? Let's go have a look. And I'm going to take my time about this. Oh, straight away, I see a bird head right here. Bird structure. There's lots of them in this ant activity. And I have theories about that, that something big fell, died, and then other things fed on it that were killed and then were fed on. And I don't think they liked eating the heads very much, because very often if I find them piled up, and I will show you, I'm going to take a lengthy tour today. I'll try to keep it down to an hour. All right, straight away. I'll do a different line. And this line measurement was just for my own doings. So you'll have to excuse me. I might get rid of it. That's a line measurement there. I'm just going to delete that so we don't have to see it. No, I've got a few on here. I'm going to leave that one alone until we get to it. Anyways, I'm going to leave that there. But this one's big. This one isn't small, right? This is part of what he says was its structure of this thing's body. And I'm going to show you a creature. And it's big, right? I'll just do what I normally do. I'll get a measurement line. All right, this is the top of its head. And it does have a peak going out into the sands here. Like that peak, like the liver bird that I keep showing you has in its beak form here. This is down in its neck, torso area, down here to its bottom. 417 miles to there, right? And as I zoom in on this, you're going to see a lot. And this part of the wing structure. Can't tell me these got a normal heart that beats. Something consumed them, something that consumes minerals. Who knows? All I know is my imaginarian sees a great big bird here. And as I zoom in here, you'll see another one. If I got something marked, it's big. So give this a moment. A lot of anthill activity in here. Some of this I haven't marked the obviouses on. And I can go right to them all. I don't think this. Oh, yes, here we go. And another head in this direction here. They lay right on top of each other. And that would explain that extra body feature there. We got another one that goes from here to here. You got that Rothschild head with the curved top. Got another one here. Sticking out that side here. There's a lot of ant activity here, and these are big things. These are not small. These are giants. I'm not talking holding up a little piece of clay and telling me it's a duck head and it got DNA after what you said were red blood cells or white blood cells, taking off a picture on Wikipedia. So I'm sorry there. I'm not in agreement with a lot of things. And I see a lot of fossils in here, and it's not always a bird. I see as I come through here, I'm gonna go through some of my markings from I'll go backwards. Some of the markings here that I've done in this area that is Spurrs giant, if you will. Starting straight away, you see a bird head here inside this big mass that's supposed to be the dragon head. And whether a dragon fell there and this is on top of it, okay, I could go with that. But to tell me it's scales and to tell me you're seeing blood coming out of things, I'm not going with you on that, mate. Just not doing it. It's this info one. So I got a bird head here, right here by this highway. Right here with the eye structure, beak structure, ant activity where it consumed it. Ants will come up through food. Throw some food down on the ground. Something good. Good meat. Chicken leg, haunch, and time lapse it and look. Look where the hills will come right through the food. And then they take it underground and do what they need to do with it. Got another faint bird head shape here in this red. And who says each one of these birds, just like the birds you see in nature of different colors, might have been made of different crystalline forms. Their feathers might have been crystals. Their wing shapes, just like beetles, could be levitation in their properties. Who knows? All I know is my imaginarian sees another head here in this red shape of this strata here. Bird. Another bird here. One on top of the other. Another one here. See it? The big eye structure. And a lot of times you'll see mines in the bird heads. And they actually scoop out just the bird head. And I've got a lot of mines marked to different part of the world. And I'll make that a whole nother show. And here's another remnants of a bird here. As you start to understand what the shapes look like in that, you think bigger. Think bigger than anything you can hold in the palm of your hand as being a giant. Very often when I see this, look here, I find it was a snaky thing, like a Naga legend, like the Naga of India. And then where their stomach area is, I find masses of other things that have been eaten, whether they were giants a mile long, half a mile long, that are hominid in shape, or flying creatures, or down by the oceans. And here you could barely make out a serpenty shape of a head. That's why I'm pointing this one out. And what I would say was the typical look of an inside of a Naga. I've done a video on Naga already, and I will do that again, and I'll tie this in. This is like a field of Naga. And the ants ate well. The aunts, uncles, whatever, aunts. And where you see these lines come down, you'll find its ant structure. Ants can make, or flying things, the termites even, chew up stuff, cement it, and make mounds. Some of them, like mud daubers, make hoops. Some of them do make triangular structures like this. Because I originally was thinking, man, that could be fused bricks. Right? Because I took this on board. That was very interesting theory. I enjoyed thinking about that, and I still am thinking about how the properties of lime bricks, lime mortars can merge and make a conglomerate rock. So I think of these things, and the devices that can fuse things and transmute are very real in our history and are definitely kept from us. They don't want us walking by and going, I'll just walk through the wall there. All right. What does Houdini know? And as I look in here, I see that bird shape, beak, head on down, consumed by the obedient ants. Down they go, and always the lump. And things didn't always lay straight. Sometimes things looked at you, sometimes they laid on their side. So I spent a great amount of time, and I haven't done this one, so I won't really get into this too badly, this area, which was said to be the scales of something, and this to be its blood. Well, that's runoff, right? Sometimes it's called scree. So as the minerals of this dissolve through rains and in erosion, and in this part of the world, flash floods are big and dramatic, but the main form of erosion around here would be sand and wind, sand blasting. But the things that are harder don't erode as quickly. So their shapes are left behind. Like as I'm flipping this upside down, this sand field does represent that shape of the bird head, even that sand field. So things erode differently. And that's just looking into what was supposed to be blood and scales and just adding too much to the imaginarium, because as things die, oops, excuse me. And I saw something popped up on my screen. As things die and they decay in a certain way when things eat them, and the bone structures are left behind. And if you ever looked at skulls or found one in the woods of birds and fox or something, you'll notice that the cartilage never remains. I think it's it. Blood, come on. It would have dried up into the things and blown in the wind long ago. If it was hemoglobin, come on, they have difficulty even finding DNA samples of mummified things. So I'm going to call bullshit on that, just because of the bullshit on those white blood cells. And I'm going to call it what it is. A lion sack of shit is a lion sack of shit. And my imaginarium is my imaginarium. And I'll call it just that, right? This cone head shape here with the face in the mouth, my imaginarium. As I come in here, the ants ate really good. Got some facial remains here of like a bird beak and a head. See it? Amazing history this planet has. And when I see this look here, I think about Insects, again, layer upon layer. Look at hornet's nest. Look at wasp nest, the paper builders. Look at how that looks. And it gets all crackly all in the winds. Well, they were building with crystalline bodies. So their saliva might have been very acidic, things that fuel chemical reactions that would fuel life. It's not always a heartbeat. That's just for humans' need. And they're everywhere, right? Everywhere I look. So I'll get you a couple good ones now. I just wanted you to be aware of that. Got a coastline face here. This will be on the other side. Part of that dragon that he says is a dragon. I got a coastline face here with the typical Rothschild nose. Big, very big. I also saw this when I zoomed in. But I think I pointed that to you. But I'm going to go. This purple beak feature was very interesting inside this other one. A very interesting bird type feature here with purple beak. And those will be mineable minerals. And the back of the head is a different color that it eroded into or oxidized to give that look. And as we go in, what ate it? What do we see inside this ant activity? Because there's a lot of activity. I got quite a shape here, like eye, insectoid mouth, wing type features here. They ate that. In my imagination. Come on, get your imagination going. Call it what it is. Hidden history of this planet that's not talked about. It was a bird world. There was a reason Horus was a god. Because birds once ruled here. With a big bony thing on the top of their heads in purple. This is a big bird. This is not small. And that's just from what's showing, right? Across to here. I mean, that's 3 miles. Even that bird's shit dust will be bigger than that fossil head thing of a duck. Nah. I'm calling bullshit. Talk to me, Roger. I'm open. I sent you a friend's request. I got some splaining to do, Lucy. Splaining to do. That's an age test. So right, back onward with my Imaginarium, showing you again another bird head feature. Right here, beak, head, neck. And they ate the body. They left the head. Must not have tasted good. Because I just see, we see a lot of heads left. But it's rare to see legs. Almost like the chicken leg, or bird leg, whatever they call that back then. Maybe they sold it off world. Colors on us. That's an interesting feature here. It's just an interesting feature. I ain't reading too much into it. I'm hunting, actually. You're seeing me do a live look rather than just go, what's this giant? I'll learn. Right. We got a giant here. Oh, yeah. There's giant. They're all over here. And I mean all over. This one's laying from here to here. His face is here. Right there. I know you're curious. I'll do it. Right, the head is 0.4, well within the realms of Enoch. Right, and where they finished eating was here. Flying hominids were written about in many legends. So that's 0.82 miles. Can easily, my Imaginarium can see a wing structure here. I see some ant activity. Wing structures, like if you look at dragonflies and other things like that, might not have been feathers. They're a ribbed structure that's light and strong and usually hollow with a film of something over it that gives it its effects, or it's curved in a certain way, like the beetles, scarab beetles and such, that they actually levitate that shape. Well, I'm going to click some more. And we're still in this area. This is only in that one area of Spurrs Dragon. Here's some more Robert's birds. If I mark this, it's going to be really obvious. Give me a moment. Here it is. It comes down into the stack. And I think this is the only picture it gives me of that time period. Big bird, just in this shadow area here. And I even gone to the mines. I might show you a few. I'm just going to click you a few right now. Conehead. This is just me mapping this one area. This one's a very interesting one. It's located in like a big dishy looking thing. It's the only way to describe it. It's odd. But we got his cone head up here and the end of its body down here. Sometimes I see a stinger form. Actually, usually I see a hollow area with a stinger form in it. And sometimes I see a face next to it with a stinger in it. And the one facing it doesn't have a stinger. See, there's something occurred on this planet. So my imaginarium is imagining quite a fiction novel based on the battles of the insectoids and maybe the Bart Simpson headed ones, hominid faces and the insectoids. It could be interesting. The only one that benefited was the planet itself because it grew from the very carcasses of that war. So this is a very interesting sticky outfit because when I look back, I seen this is the top of a cone and this is like a shoulder feature and it's down there. And could this be part of its wing underneath? Was it a burial? I don't know. Oh, I know it. Boy, is that cool. And my coordinates are all down here. All you gotta do is pause, blow up the picture, and you'll see where I am. Isn't that interesting? Actually, I might actually make a screenshot of that one. What do you think? Put them on there. Give you the whole thing. Very interesting feature right there. Might make that the thumbnail. As we go on. Now, every one of these, what you was thinking was a mud flood, seems to be ant activity. I had to change my mind. And if it came from underneath like that makes you question a whole lot of other things. Like theories of a bubble with water and mud and all this, which was an Archon construct, which is Jesuit. There's the boiled down. The Archons, Jesuit, pushed by many people, actually. So, but some of the legends and the tales talk about these type things, talk about flying things with faces that were different than us. And that kind of got that shape that I had from Independence Day, the piloty things, don't it? Interesting. It's got another one. Give us a kiss, love. I'm gonna drop a pin here. Call it head. Simple marking, but if it's in yellow from here on out, it's Earth. We got a Bart Simpson head here. Flying something here, all in the mud. It's all right here in the insects ate well. Deposit after deposit and erosion of sand. Sandblasting this will do this with wind. It absolutely will. Anybody you all clean car parts with a bead blaster? You'll know what I'm talking about. I showed you the purple beak giant. I want to see a conehead. Insectoid. I'm just going through now. I did extensive marking of here. Yeah, this is kind of big. The head's over here. This is part of the wing structure, and this is part of the body. It's very elaborate, this one, actually. It's looking right at us. Nose feature like that mandible mashery thing like ants in them have. It's right here in this structure here. The eye feature. And that's quite a head it's got. Very interesting with looks like a wing structure. And my Imaginarium makes it so. What does your Imaginarium see? I'm sorry if YouTube doesn't let me have comments, but they'll make you prove your age to do it. So I'll seek out another network, maybe make a new channel for this type work. But I think we all need Imaginarium, and I cover lots of issues. And this one's important to me because it's so cool to look at, isn't it? This area in here. See, to me, this originally had a Naga look, like inside of a stomach. But as I go in, the mud reveals. So I didn't go all into this area. So we can get a different year of this one. It's important to go different years. See if you see the same thing. Well, that didn't really change. Be critical with your Imaginarium. Otherwise, you can lose your mind. You go full retard. Everybody knows you don't go full retard. That movie. I ain't seeing nothing definitive there other than this form here in the middle. So you don't have to make it happen. Why? Because there's enough stuff. Something here says giant. I might have already shown that. Yes, I did. I have shown this one. No, I haven't. No, this is big. There you go. Again, head feature. But this time it has this like a bird looking at me with his beak. I had a budgie. I know a bird comes up to my face looks like. Wing structure here. Body going down here has been consumed by the ants. I'll call them ants. Aunts and uncles. Got another odd head here. Again, that beaky sweep looking beak look. Like one of these with his head a little bit turned to the side. That again, that bony structure that we so often see, that liverbird look. Go Reds. And it's laying on the side of this mouth. Did it come down to get it and it get killed? And then the ants continue their work. Onward they go. And as things eat it, things get killed and eaten, consumed. Nothing was wasted. They became part of the oneness and we hike on top of them. And how long is that, you're wondering? I'll give you a quick one. That's roughly 2.4 miles. Oh, 2.4. This is another interesting area. Again, that's very snaky looking, isn't it? Legends of the Naga. So if it was snaky looking, we got to look close inside it. Where's its head? Did the head get eaten? So this is another interesting area. The one that said cocoon, I thought was very compelling. So what if at some point some of these things change into a flying thing? And this looked very cocoon-like to me. Although inside of it, you see something's in the stain. So this is another curiosity for me. My Imaginaria sees a giant caterpillar that's going to come out of there like the most beautiful butterfly that took up the whole sky over the top of you. And its wings itself was a hurricane. That butterfly didn't just flutter by, that's for sure. Mine was sounded like the Vulcan jet. Right. Row of bird heads. This was interesting here. This was another area that was said to be scales of the dragon. Now, I can see why he'd say that. But as I look in at the actual individual shapes, again, I see the bird heads repeated. Bird head. Repeated pattern. Bird head. Bird head. Bird head. Body. wing structure. I see different bird head right here. This is where he said the dragon scales were. I'm just having a zip through. Sorry if it's choppy. I don't have the best computer equipment, and someday I'd like to have it. And if you'd like me to have better computer equipment to show this, you can support my work at paypal.me/Robert Deutsch, ROBERTDEUTSCH. I can also be found on Facebook under the same name, Robert Deutsch. That's me. But I don't monetize my channels. I like to keep the commercials down too. Doesn't that bust balls? I do this because it fulfills me to look at the planet, and somebody keeps sending me videos, more than one person, of Mudfossil University. I watched them a lot myself, and I went and looked. My opinion is different. I don't see this as being remnants of blood. Obviously, blood would have dried up and went away. I see this as runoff of the different minerals, coals, and stuff, and it settles different, like gold in a pan or sediments on a beach. You'll see that same look, and it wasn't blood. And through the years, these colors do change. Some of it's actually growth. I see ant tunnels. This is not a very good image. They don't give you many choices on this one. This one, you have your 2013 image with some signs of something here. Whether it was civilization or mining, I can't determine. Usually active mining pollutes a river, always. So just look for the pollution. So yeah, these are the scales. Let's see, we got another one, just his face. I hope I'm not boring you to death, and I hope you're enjoying your imaginarium and enjoying my cup of coffee with me. And I'm taking a personal attack that I'm pointing this out, but really some explaining to do about that electron microscope image that you're pointing at your microscope saying it's really good. Actually, that one there goes up to about 400 with optical zoom. I may can get 1200 out of your microscope. Why? Because I had one, and I actually sent it off to another activist who's using it to look at hemoglobin, real hemoglobin. So the face here. I don't see a beak structure. Oh, my hair. All right. Just clicking through. This is some of my surface from last night of this area. Another bird in the side of this cliff here. In this shape. I'm going to pull up some mines. See if I can see some mines. Bird mine. I want to see where we are too, so I'm going to zoom out. Okay, we're back in that area again. This is again, this is part of we're in Saudi Arabia. I'm going to save this for another time. Okay. So that is all. So what I wanted to show you, I wanted to show you my imaginarium of this area, how I can see some very large bird heads here, here, here as well, on top of his dragon. I showed it at the beginning, so go have a wonderful look. I see a big bird head. I see birds. Right here's a bird. I keep showing them to you. Insectoids. Inside these ant activities. So we'll let this one here look you right in the eye. And I'm going to end my broadcast. Keep your imaginariums alive. Call a fact a fact. Call a hmm. And let's all together kindly. Big love, people. Peace.